My husband stole $2 million from me, and today, in front of this entire courtroom, I'm about to take everything from him.
My husband gave his mistress my inheritance, until the lawyer read the full will. The courtroom was packed, every seat filled. Cameras weren't allowed, but I could feel everyone's eyes on me like spotlights. Across the room sat Marcus, my ex-husband. Next to him was Amber, 26 years old, blonde, wearing my grandmother's diamond necklace like it was hers. The judge banged his gavel. We're here for the final reading of Catherine Monroe's will, and to address the estate dispute brought by. I stood up. The room went silent. Your Honor, I said, my voice cutting through the tension like glass. Before we start, I need to say something. The judge looked annoyed. Ms. Monroe, please sit. My mother didn't just leave me money, I continued, staring directly at Marcus. She left me the truth. And today, the man who thought he could steal my inheritance, betray me, and walk away clean. Today, he learns what happens when you underestimate a Monroe woman. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. Marcus's smug smile flickered. Just for a second, but I saw it. Ms. Monroe, the judge said firmly, sit down. Now, I sat, slowly, never breaking eye contact with Marcus. If you love stories where cheaters get exactly what they deserve, smash that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you won't believe how this ends. Oh, we're just getting started, Your Honor, I said quietly. And when this is over, everyone here will know exactly who Marcus Hayes really is. The lawyer next to me, Helen Park, my mother's oldest friend, placed a thick manila envelope on the table. Marcus saw it. His face went pale. Good. Let me tell you how we got here. 6 months earlier, my life looked perfect from the outside. Marcus and I had been married for 8 years. We lived in a beautiful colonial in the suburbs. He was a financial advisor. I ran a small interior design business from home. We weren't rich, but we were comfortable. Until my mother died. Catherine Monroe, 72 years old, breast cancer. She fought for 2 years, but in the end, the cancer won. The funeral was on a Tuesday. Raining. Of course it was raining. Marcus held my hand through the entire service. He gave a beautiful eulogy about how Catherine had welcomed him into the family, how she'd taught him to make her famous lemon cake, how she'd called him son. I cried into his shoulder. I actually believed he cared. 3 days later, the lawyer called. Mrs. Hayes, we need to schedule the reading of your mother's will. Can you and Marcus come in Friday at 2? Of course, I said. Is there anything I should know? Helen Park paused. Just, make sure Marcus is with you. It's important he's there. I should have heard the warning in her voice. I didn't. Friday came. We sat in Helen's office, wood paneling, leather chairs, the smell of old books and expensive cologne. Helen opened the file. Catherine Monroe's estate is valued at approximately $2.4 million, she began. I felt Marcus's hand tighten on mine. The estate includes the family home, investment accounts, a life insurance policy, and several stock portfolios. According to the will, everything is left to her daughter, Claire Monroe Hayes. I exhaled. Relief flooded through me. However, Helen continued, there's a clause. Claire, your mother was very specific. She wanted you to have full access to the accounts, but she also included a provision. She slid a document across the desk. Any major financial decisions, anything over $50,000, requires both your signature and your spouse's signature for the next 12 months. After that, the restriction lifts and everything transfers fully to your name alone. I blinked. Why would she do that? Helen looked uncomfortable. Your mother said she wanted to make sure you had support during your grief, that you wouldn't make any impulsive decisions while you were mourning. Marcus smiled. Warm. Supportive. That's actually really thoughtful, Claire. Your mom was looking out for you. I nodded. Yeah, that makes sense. Helen handed us the paperwork. We both signed. That was my first mistake. If you're already hooked on this story, hit that like button. And stay tuned, because what happens next will make your blood boil. 2 weeks later, Marcus started staying late at work. Big client, he'd say. Retirement portfolio. Needs a lot of attention. I believed him. A month later, I noticed charges on our credit card. Expensive restaurants I'd never been to. A hotel downtown. Twice. Client dinners, Marcus explained. You know how it is. I wanted to believe him. But then I found the receipt. It was in his jacket pocket. I was taking it to the dry cleaner when it fell out. Tiffany & Company diamond pendant necklace. $8,400. My heart stopped. Our anniversary wasn't for another 6 months. My birthday had already passed. I confronted him that night. Marcus, who did you buy jewelry for? He didn't even flinch. It's for you, babe. For our anniversary. I wanted to get it early before prices went up. Our anniversary is in October. It's April. I like to plan ahead. He kissed my forehead and went to bed. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I hired a private investigator. His name was Derek Chen. Former cop. Specialized in infidelity cases. I need to know if my husband is cheating, I told him. Derek didn't judge. I'll have answers in 2 weeks. It took him 4 days. Derek called me on a Thursday morning. Mrs. Hayes, we need to meet. Not over the phone. My stomach dropped. You found something. I found everything. We met at a coffee shop 3 towns over. Somewhere Marcus would never go. Derek slid a manila folder across the table. Thick. Too thick. I'm sorry, he said quietly. But you need to see this. I opened it. The first photo showed Marcus, standing outside a downtown apartment building, his arm around a young blonde woman. They were kissing. My hands started shaking. Her name is Amber Mitchell, Derek said. 26 years old. Works as a receptionist at a dental office. They've been seeing each other for at least 7 months. 7 months? Before my mother even died. There's more, Derek continued. He pulled out bank statements, highlighted in yellow. 3 weeks ago, your husband transferred $847,000 from your mother's investment account into a new account. Joint account. His name and Amber Mitchell's name. The coffee shop started spinning. That's not possible. He can't do that without my signature. Derek's face was grim. Look at the signature page. He showed me the document. There it was, my signature. But I'd never signed that paper. He forged it. I whispered, "Wes." I looked up at Derek. Can we prove it? I already contacted a forensic document examiner. She compared it to your real signature from the will paperwork. It's a forgery. A good one, but still a forgery. My hands clenched into fists. What else? Derek pulled out more documents. 2 days ago, he transferred another $680,000. Different account. Same names. Marcus Hayes and Amber Mitchell. $1.5 million. He'd stolen $1.5 million from me. They're planning to leave, Derek said. I followed them to a travel agency yesterday. They booked flights to Costa Rica. One-way tickets. Leaving in 6 weeks. I couldn't breathe. 8 years of marriage. My mother's entire life savings. And he was going to disappear with his 26-year-old mistress. Mrs. Hayes? Derek's voice seemed far away. Are you okay? I looked up at him. No, I said. But I will be. I pulled out my phone and called Helen Park. She answered on the second ring. Claire? Helen, I need you to meet me at your office in 1 hour. And I need you to bring everything. Every document related to my mother's estate. What's wrong? Marcus forged my signature. He's been stealing from the inheritance. And I'm going to make sure he pays for every single dollar. There was a pause. Then Helen's voice came back, hard as steel. I'll be ready. I went home that afternoon like nothing was wrong. Marcus was in the living room watching TV. Hey babe, he said, smiling. How was your day? I smiled back. Good. Productive. Want to order Thai food for dinner? Sure. Sounds perfect. I went upstairs and locked myself in the bathroom. Then I threw up. But when I came back downstairs, my face was calm. Makeup reapplied. Smile in place. I sat next to Marcus on the couch. He put his arm around me, and I let him. Because I needed him to think everything was fine. I needed him to keep feeling safe. While I built the trap. If you're thinking I hope she destroys him, just wait. Hit that subscribe button because the revenge is about to get sweet. The next morning, I met with Helen. She'd already reviewed Derek's evidence. Her face was furious. This is fraud, forgery, theft. Claire, we need to go to the police. No, I said firmly. Helen looked shocked. What? Why not? Because if we go to the police now, he'll know. He'll run. He'll hide the money. We'll be tied up in legal battles for years. I leaned forward. My mother put that 12-month clause in the will for a reason. She didn't trust Marcus. Maybe she saw something I didn't. But she was protecting me. So what do you want to do? I pulled out a notepad. I'd been up all night planning. First, we freeze the accounts he hasn't touched yet. Quietly. No notifications. Helen nodded. I can do that today. Second, we document everything. Every transfer. Every forged signature. Every lie. We build an airtight case. And third? I smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Third, we wait until the 12-month restriction lifts. Then we file for divorce, file criminal charges, and take him to court for everything. The house. The cars. Every penny he stole, plus damages. Helen stared at me. Claire, that's 4 more months of living with him. Pretending everything is fine. I know. Can you do that? I thought about Marcus kissing Amber, stealing my mother's money, planning to abandon me. Yes, I said quietly. I can do that. Helen reached across the desk and squeezed my hand. Your mother would be proud of you. My eyes burned, but I didn't cry. Let's destroy him, I said. The next 4 months were the hardest of my life. Every morning, I woke up next to a man I despised. Every night, I made him dinner and smiled while he talked about his day. I laughed at his jokes. I kissed him goodnight. I pretended to be the loving wife. And the entire time, I was gathering evidence. Helen had frozen the remaining accounts, about $900,000 that Marcus hadn't touched yet. He didn't know. The statement still showed the full balance. Derek continued surveillance. Photos of Marcus and Amber at restaurants, hotels, her apartment. One night, Derek sent me a video. Marcus and Amber in a jewelry store. He was buying her a ring. An engagement ring. I watched it 3 times. Then I deleted it and went downstairs to make Marcus his favorite lasagna. "This is amazing, babe," he said, kissing my cheek. "You're the best. Anything for you," I said sweetly. I wanted to throw the plate at his head. Instead, I smiled. Meanwhile, I was building my case. Helen connected me with a divorce attorney, Margaret Chen, Derek's sister. She specialized in high-asset divorces with fraud involved. "This is one of the clearest cases I've seen," Margaret said, reviewing the evidence. "Forged signatures, documented theft, infidelity. He's going to lose everything." "Good," I said. "But Claire, you need to be prepared. This is going to get ugly. He'll fight back. Let him try." Margaret smiled. It was almost predatory. "I like you." We planned everything down to the minute. The 12-month restriction would lift on October 15th. We scheduled the divorce filing for October 16th at 9 a.m. We'd hit him with everything at once: divorce papers, restraining order, criminal fraud charges, and a civil lawsuit for the stolen money plus damages. "He won't see it coming," Margaret promised. But I needed one more thing: proof that Marcus knew exactly what he was doing. So I set a trap. One evening in late September, I came home with my laptop open to the bank accounts. I left it on the kitchen counter. On purpose. Marcus walked in. Saw it. "Hey babe, you left your computer open," he called out. I came rushing in, playing flustered. "Oh my God, thank you. I've been so scattered lately." I closed the laptop quickly. But not before he saw the balance. $900,000 still sitting in the accounts. His eyes lit up. Just for a second. He thought I didn't notice. I did. 2 weeks later, I checked the accounts. He'd tried to transfer another $200,000. But the account was frozen. The transfer failed. He didn't know why. That night at dinner, Marcus was tense. Quiet. "Everything okay?" I asked innocently. "Yeah. Just work stuff. Anything I can help with?" "No, it's fine." But it wasn't fine. He tried 3 more times over the next week. Each transfer failed. I could see him getting nervous, paranoid. Good. Let him sweat. We're getting close to the courtroom showdown. If you're loving this, drop a comment with a fire emoji and let me know if you'd have the strength to do what she did. October 15th arrived. The restriction lifted at midnight. At 12:01 a.m., Helen transferred every remaining dollar into a new account. My name only. At 9 a.m., Margaret filed the divorce papers. At 9:15 a.m., the police arrived at Marcus's office with a warrant for his arrest on fraud charges. At 9:30 a.m., a process server delivered the divorce papers and restraining order to Marcus in handcuffs. I wasn't there to see it, but Derek was. He sent me a photo. Marcus, in handcuffs, face white as paper, being led out of his office while his coworkers watched. I looked at that photo for a long time. Then I deleted it. I didn't need it anymore. The next week was chaos. The story hit the local news. Financial advisor arrested for fraud, stole from dead mother-in-law's estate. Marcus's firm fired him immediately. His clients started filing complaints. Turns out, I wasn't the only person he'd been stealing from. The investigation uncovered 3 other clients whose accounts Marcus had been managing, elderly people who trusted him completely. He'd stolen from all of them. The charges piled up. What started as 1 count of fraud became 7, plus forgery, plus elder abuse. Marcus was looking at 15 to 20 years in prison. But Amber was the wild card. At first, she stood by him, posted on social media about how he was innocent, how I was a vindictive ex trying to ruin him. Then the prosecutors offered her a deal. Testify against Marcus, return the money she'd received, and they dropped the charges against her for receiving stolen funds. She took the deal in less than 24 hours. Turned out, Marcus had told her I was abusive and that the inheritance was his money from a settlement. She claimed she had no idea the money was stolen. I didn't believe her, but I didn't care. As long as she testified, she could tell herself whatever story she needed to sleep at night. The civil lawsuit moved faster than the criminal case. Margaret was a machine. She presented the forged signatures, the bank transfers, the surveillance evidence, Derek's testimony. Marcus's lawyer tried to argue that it was a marital misunderstanding. The judge actually laughed. "A marital misunderstanding?" Judge Richardson said. "Counselor, Your client forged his wife's signature 7 times and stole $1.5 million. That's not a misunderstanding. That's fraud. Margaret smiled. The judge ruled in my favor on everything. I got the house, the cars, every penny of my mother's estate, plus punitive damages of $500,000. Marcus was ordered to pay it all back. Of course, he didn't have it anymore. He'd spent it on Amber, on trips, on gambling, on God knows what else. So the court seized everything he had. His car, his watch collection, his retirement accounts. It still wasn't enough. He'd have to work the rest of his life to pay me back, if he ever got out of prison. Justice is so close. If you want to see how this ends in the courtroom, keep watching. Which brings us back to that courtroom. The final hearing. Helen opened the manila envelope. Your Honor, I'd like to present evidence that Catherine Monroe suspected her son-in-law might attempt to steal from her daughter's inheritance. The courtroom went silent. 6 months before her death, Mrs. Monroe came to my office. She told me she was worried about Marcus, that she'd seen him looking at her financial documents, that something felt off about him. Helen pulled out a letter, handwritten. She wrote this letter to be opened only if Marcus ever tried to access the estate accounts without Claire's legitimate consent. My heart stopped. My mother knew. She knew. Helen began to read. To whoever is reading this. If you're reading this, it means Marcus has done exactly what I feared. He's tried to take what belongs to my Claire. I've watched him over the years. The way he talks about money, the way his eyes light up when discussing finances, the way he always knows exactly how much everything costs, down to the penny. I saw the way he looked at my documents when he thought no one was watching. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this letter never needs to be read. I hope Marcus proves me wrong and loves my daughter the way she deserves. But if I'm right, if he's stolen from her, then Claire, my darling girl, know this. You are stronger than you think. You are smarter than he ever gave you credit for. And you have every resource you need to fight back. Destroy him, sweetheart. Love, Mom. I couldn't breathe. Tears streamed down my face. Across the room, Marcus had gone completely white. The judge looked at Marcus with pure disgust. Mr. Hayes, I've seen a lot of fraud cases in my career. But stealing from your dying mother-in-law's estate? Forging your wife's signature? Planning to flee the country with your mistress? The judge shook his head. I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff on all counts. You are ordered to pay full restitution of $1.5 million, plus punitive damages of $500,000, plus Mrs. Hayes's legal fees. He banged the gavel. And Mr. Hayes? The prosecutor's office will be pursuing maximum sentencing on the criminal charges. I suggest you get a very good lawyer. Marcus tried to approach me as we left the courtroom. Claire, please. 2 bailiffs blocked him. Restraining order, Mr. Hayes, one of them said. Step back. I looked at him one last time. This man I'd loved. This man I'd trusted. This man who'd held me at my mother's funeral while planning to rob me blind. I hope it was worth it, I said quietly. Then I walked away. 6 months later, I'm sitting in my mother's house. Well, my house now. The divorce is final. The criminal trial is over. Marcus got 18 years. Amber moved back to her hometown in Ohio. Last I heard, she's working at a hair salon and telling everyone she was a victim too. Sure, Amber, sure. I sold the house Marcus and I lived in. Too many bad memories. Instead, I renovated my mother's house. It's beautiful now. Exactly how she would have wanted it. I'm running my interior design business full-time. Growing it. I just landed a contract with a boutique hotel chain. Life is good. Better than good. Last week, I got a letter. From Marcus. Prison stationery. His handwriting. I almost threw it away. But curiosity got the better of me. Claire, I know you'll probably never forgive me. I don't expect you to. But I need you to know, I'm sorry. For all of it, I was greedy. I was stupid. I convinced myself I deserved that money, that I'd earned it by being part of the family. I didn't. I threw away the best thing that ever happened to me for money I didn't even get to keep. I hope someday you can move on and be happy. Marcus, I read it twice. Then I walked over to the fireplace, and I burned it. Because here's the thing about betrayal. Apologies don't fix it. Prison sentences don't fix it. The only thing that fixes it is time and healing, and building a life so good that the person who hurt you becomes irrelevant. My mother knew that. That's why she protected me, even after she was gone. And that's why I'm standing here today in her house, living the life she wanted for me. Free, happy, and finally at peace. If this story had you hooked from start to finish, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Drop a comment telling me what you would have done in Claire's situation. And remember, karma always comes back around. Sometimes it just needs a little help. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next story.